2021 Jaina International Conference to join this wonderful journey of holistic health through Vitarag Vignan. At the outset, I would like to bow the present Arihant in Mahavidya Kshetra Sri Simandar Swami Prabhu and Shashan Tirthankar Sri Mahavir Swami Prabhu, to whom I perceive as the greatest scientists of the universe. Along with, by relative viewpoint, I bow to all Gurudevs, all renowned speakers at this Jaina conference, whole Jaina team, and all inquisitive pious souls across the globe. By real viewpoint, I bow and connect to divine pure within you, which is latent but as potent and as good as one manifested in Siddhas or liberated souls. And with this, with the vision and feeling of oneness, let's move on. A brief about presentation overview. In an available time, we will have a quick overview journey of holistic means complete health of body, mind, soul. Quick meaning thereby I would dwell on the relevant life transformational points only and leave out the things which are already known to most of us. How our inner world, that is to say our antaskaran, is connected on one side to the body and on another side to the conscious or Atman. And it would be based on the essence of the Vitarag Vignan principles with some correlations to the modern science. Rather than based on the scripture or the book picture, it would be based more on my own life journey with the experiences I have so far, and I hope to provide you with the novel insights with many easy practical result giving approach at each stage. Holistic health. Holistic means as a whole, not as a piecemeal, and even the World Health Organization has defined health as not only physical but mental, that is emotional, spiritual and social health as a complete health. In other words, most of the world today recognizes body, mind, conscious as one unit for the total health. So few years back we were giving importance to only IQ, that is intelligent quotient, but now the world is giving due acknowledgement to the EQ, that is emotional quotient, as well as the spiritual quotient. Louis C. Hay and others have said that disease is nothing but dis and ease. One space in between means whatever makes you uneasy, whatever disrupts your harmony can ultimately lead to diseases. And health is not the absence of disease or deformity, but it is the optimal functioning and the harmonious functioning, especially to attain my life purpose or the life goal. In Vedas or our ancient rishis have described body in 5 layers. First is the Aharmaya course, related to the 5 senses and food intake, or the gross body which we doctors see to the microscopic cells. Second one is the Pranamaya, related with the breathing, my inner energy body or vitality body. Manomaya course, related with my inner self or Antaskaran. Anandamaya, which is related to my Atman or true self, and Vignanmaya, which is the purest of pure, my pure self, that is the truest self. In our language we say swastha, but have we ever thought what is the true or deeper meaning of swastha? Only if I know myself, the one who is staying in the self can only remain swastha, means sthit or staying in the self, otherwise I cannot do that. It's well proven by many scientific researches that the negative attitudes or the negative emotions may lead to diseases, especially the psychosomatic diseases, and we all know what all are negative ones: stress, clash, lack of harmony, anger with somebody, hatred, criticisms. And in the scriptural language it is Artha Dhyan, Raudra Dhyan or Kashaya Bhavs. All these will have negative impact on one side to the body, on other side to the conscious, whereas the positive ones will help to heal the disease or it will help my health. And we are well aware that friendliness, love, obliging nature, compassion, forgiveness in the scriptural language Dharma Dhyan, and if I can move to Shukla Dhyan, this will constitute the positive ones. Let me take you to the medical world for a while, that how the mind connected to the brain affects the body, and it is through these two systems, autonomic nervous system as well as the endocrinal system, that smallest of small things happening in the mind affects all the cells and systems of my body. And as we already saw, that the negative or positive ones occurring here will have the impact all throughout the body. Let's see one or two examples. In this present corona pandemic, you have gone to some lab and the lab says your report is positive. Without death, without corona affecting you, you will be half dead. Another wise person comes and says, sir, why don't you get rechecked with the second laboratory? And the second laboratory gives you the report that no, you are fine, it's negative. Oh, released. So likewise, so many informations being processed, and the reactions and responses do affect our entire body through these two systems. Stress is a silent killer, and who can claim that I am stress free in the modern times? So stress has many adverse effects through cortisols and noradrenaline. These are the two hormones being secreted, and it is well proven that the chronic stress can lead to many body pains, muscle pains, backaches, many diseases. It also lowers our immunity power, which we are realizing hard way, that in present corona time, those who have a good immunity power can pass through any tormenting illness. Those who have lower will get succumb to it. What are the reasons for stress? And the novel reasons are incorrect understanding or the ignorance about my life, living, nature, natural laws and natural regulatory system. So I cannot reconcile myself, why is it happening so, why to me? Second is disparity of my mind, speech and body. What I speak is different from what I think, and what I behave is still different from what I have spoken. So in the present time, there is no uniformity, or there is a disparity between mind, speech and body. The third one is the Mohaniya. The present time is the time of Mohaniya, which are making us to run towards excessively towards the outward things, and my Chittavritti is excessively engaged into these digital tools while driving, while eating. I am always engaged into some tools. It's good, but the above normal use of that and my chit remaining engaged does lead to loss of my neuronal energy and the stresses. And the ultimate is not knowing my true self. As long as I don't know my true self, I cannot be really stress free. What are the solutions? The people have found many solutions like yoga, meditation, exercises and other things, but the biggest and the root cause solution will be the correct understanding or the correct right vision about the things. There are three types of body described. One is the gross body, which we doctors study, as I said, to the microscopic levels and the cellular levels. Another is the vitality body, energy body or the aura body, and we study that through electrocardiogram, electromyogram, electroencephalogram. The yogis study through various chakras. I was not believing that the chakras really exist, but when I saw the photographs of the GDV Compact and GDV Express cameras showing me the points of energy, I started believing that yes, they do exist. So the energy or the aura body and the aura can be photographed also, and our negative or positive occurring inside my inner world does have the effect on my own body, be it aura body, be it a functional MRI, as well as the others. Let me take you to some references, because this is the time of the scientific inquiry. Normal Cousins was the person in the 17th century who was told by the doctors that we are sorry, we can't do anything about your illness. He healed himself by the positive attitudes. Not only he healed, but he went throughout the world to the various doctors' conferences sharing his experiences, and came out with a book, Anatomy of Illness and Head First, which was sold in millions of copies. Dr. Jem Powalski, MD from California, a qualified doctor, came out, Change Your Mind and You Can Change Your Life, and based on that he devised the course in Miracles, which again was attended by millions. Bruce H. Lipton, a cell scientist, a cell expert, came out with a beautiful observation and a book, Biology of Beliefs, which in nutshell suggests that our beliefs do affect all our cells and genes of the body, and even genes can be changed by the change of the beliefs. So a new branch came out as epigenetics. Another scientist, Andrew Newberg, working in New Jersey, he is studied various PET scans, and he came out with the observations that not only spiritual practices but only 12 minutes of spiritual practice or meditation will reduce your stress, anxiety, and will retard the aging process. So there are so many n number of scientific researches. Those who are interested can have many more. Now coming to the holistic science or the Vitarag Vignan, what is the most important or the most crucial aspect is there are only two things. One is on one side self or I am, on the other side there are inner and outer situations or circumstances, and between the two there is a very important glass. In Instagram you change the filter and everything changes. Here the filter is my beliefs, my visions or my understanding through which I am perceiving, experiencing and reacting to the situations. If my beliefs or understanding is wrong, the situation will give me sorrow, grief, puzzles, confusions and clashes. But if I can turn that my belief or understanding to the right ones, the same situation I will be happy, positive or the puzzle free. So what's the crux is, what is required? Should I have the external renunciations, hard penances or other things? Is it a very hard way to travel? No. As in a science, if you know the fundamentals or the understanding is correct, the result of the experiment will be effortlessly desirable. But if I don't know the method or the fundamentals correctly, no matter how hard I try, not only I will fail to succeed, but there will be n number of puzzles. So it says in simple that incorrect understanding, wrong beliefs or wrong visions lead to all the negative stations, whereas the correct understanding, right belief or the right vision will lead to not only the happy, harmonious, positive or meaningful living, but it will lead me to my ultimate aim of liberation also. Now to understand it in another perspective, we perceive the world through the five senses. The input goes through five senses. There is inner machinery of mind, intellect, reflective consciousness and ego. In between the two again there is a filter of vision and belief through which we perceive, experience and react, and ultimately it gets transformed to action or speech. So what is needed is just to change this filter, and that's what the holistic or the Vitarag Vignan does for us. Now let's know how our inner machinery, inner world functions. I have a very luxurious car, but if I don't know how to drive that car, what are the important components, I will not only be failing to use that car but meet with an accident. So my inner world is comprised of the relative inner self or antaskaran, which is mind, man, reflective consciousness, my chittavritti, intellect and ego. But these four says we are not only alone, we are under the influence of your beliefs and your opinions. So your beliefs, we work. So your opinions, we work. If I have opinion that he is not my friend, my machinery will act negatively. If I have a belief that he is my good friend, my machinery will work differently. Now they say we are also not alone. We work under the influence of what is your purpose, what is your intent. Is my purpose to increase my prestige, to spread my name, that is why have I come to this Jaina platform, or is my intent to share some true knowledge light to everybody, leaving aside my name or my prestige. So intents, motives or purpose go a long way. It's not the action which is important, it is the intent behind the action which is important. Now they say we are also not alone, we are under the influence of the subtle forces which are said to be inner weaknesses, my anger, my greed, my pride, my deceit, my attachment or aversion. Suppose I have been invited to a marriage ceremony by a friend. Now he greets me and then he becomes busy with all other friends and he doesn't pay attention to me. Though there are many items to be enjoyed, I feel as if I am left alone and I feel like running away from there, because my pride comes in there that he is not attending me, he is attending other people more than me. So anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment or aversion, which the Vitarags have said, if you can win over them, you have won the entire universe. And this all leads to my inner state of being that is known as dhyana. The world today is talking a lot about dhyan. It's good to begin with that, but to me or to the Vitarag perception, it's a good beginning with the concentration efforts, or you are trying to restrain your wandering chitvrutti and trying to focus it on something. But dhyan is a continuous dynamic state of being, and that which is going on inside from moment to moment, and that's how the Vitarags have described Artha dhyan, Raudra dhyan, Dharma dhyan and Shukla dhyan. Going little more in a deeper state, I and my. If someone can research on these two words, I and my, thoroughly to the deeper level, he will be more than a Nobel Prize laureate once, and he will win over his entire life. So inside, one who is interested can find what is the process of binding and release of the karmic bonds, the atomic and molecular structures, how the Prakriti and conscious are interacting with each other, and ultimately who am I, what is my true state of being, or my awareness about the pure self. Having said that, let me move further. Of course, every one of us will start with the physical health, and it's well known that in a physical health we know the role of regularity of the life. Research has proven that the people who are regular in life, means they wake up at certain time, they take their meals at regular time, they go to bed at regular time. This biorhythmic clock gives them the more longevity. Role of yoga, meditation and exercises is well proven, so I am not going to dwell more on it. But the role of diet, and when I talk about food or diet, the first things which comes to my mind is food is not only for the body. Yes, food means body, but there will be food for mind and food for soul. At the moment, what we are taking is food for mind and food for soul through these interactions. And the food which is going on, intake through five senses, will not have effect only on the body, but it will have effect on the inner self or psyche as well as the conscious also. I will be happy to share some research findings about vegetarianism. Joel Fuhrman and T. Colin Campbell had research of almost 25-30 years. They came out with the book Eat to Live, and it's very clearly and categorically says that the animal proteins are responsible for more diseases at all levels: hypertension, heart attacks, diabetes, cancers and arthritis, whereas the plant-based diet is protective and rich in nutrients per calorie. There has been many researches even on the vegan diet, and one of them is by William Casely, that is a Framingham study at the Massachusetts University. From the Vitarag Vignan perspective, if we see fasting, why I have to fast? The fasting gives my body some time to burn out the accumulated toxins in the body. It cleans not only my body, but it cleans my mind, it cleans my inner conscious. So the first scientific reason to use the fasting discriminately depending on my body needs is to clean the system, body, mind as well as conscious. The second important aspect of fasting, I should be knowing that upavas, up means to stay near, vas means नज़दीक में रहना. मगर किसके नज़दीक में रहना? तो बोले मेरे आत्मा के, means if I can go nearer to my true self or the Atman, the upavas has its meaning. But if I do the fasting and if I pass my time chipping the cards or seeing the movies, probably I have not achieved the purpose of upavas. The second important tap or penance or the useful tool is unodari, or eating less than hunger. If I have the hunger of 4 chapatis, I eat only 2 and keep my tummy empty for the rest 2. That means it's the biggest help not only to my body but to my awareness and to my spiritual journey also. And the science of eating before sunset, it's proven that my digestion system works best in the presence of sun. When the sun sets in, my digestion becomes weak and the accumulated toxins may lead to diseases. Coming to the more important aspect of mental health, and in mental health, simply I will put 4 parameters. We are the doctors. So we like to measure everything, that if we want to measure, we put the thermometer, if we want to measure the oxygen, we want to put the pulse oximeter. So we should have some parameters. So one is daily living. If whether my daily living is free of clashes, stresses, disputes, is it happy, harmonious, positive living? Second, going little inside, can I reduce my Artha Dhyans and Raudra Dhyans? Artha Dhyan means self-disturbing state of being. Somebody criticizes me, I am not reacting outside, but inside I feel sad. Why he is saying such type of things to me? There is some loss and I get disturbed. I do not show it outside, but I get disturbed within. So Artha Dhyan. Raudra Dhyan means it is disturbing to others, or there is a rage reaction within me. Anger, pride, greed and deceit, they constitute the Raudra Dhyan. Can I increase my Dharma Dhyan? Dharma Dhyan is not one which is happening in the temples, it is a tool to achieve Dharma Dhyan, but one may not be in Dharma Dhyan while in temple or while doing the spiritual practices, but it is an inner state of being where I can remain balanced, cool, composed, equanimous and can sail through different situations with a nice inner state of being, and whether I can move to Shukla Dhyan. Third parameter is to reduce the inner weaknesses. Anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment and aversion, they become controllable. From there the spiritual progress or the journey starts, and at the end or the full point is where they get totally eliminated. And the fourth point is whether I know who am I, whether I can live with my pure awareness of my pure conscious. So how can I achieve this? Let us have the practical some tips which I can put in my daily living. So the holistic visions for daily living, Lord Mahavir said a very wonderful aphorism, Yoga Upyogo Paropakarai. Yoga means my mind, speech and body, and Upyog means my time, my intellect, my energy, my understanding, if I can use to oblige others. So everybody, every path, every wise person in the world said the same thing. Vivekananda said those who live for others really live. But it was not becoming functional. It was not giving result for myself, because my intellect was telling me that whenever I find time, I will do something for others. Unfortunately, I am not finding time. I have lot of things to do for my own self. But when I experience that no sooner I decide to guide my patient, even before I do that, I start feeling happy within myself. My aura body becomes positive, my functional MRI pictures become positive, my atoms and molecules become positive. So I realized that before helping others, I am being helped myself. Before obliging others, I am being obliged myself. Why to go to the bigger things? Take a small example. Your grandson or granddaughter's birthday is coming after 15 days. You decide that we will invite few children and distribute few chocolates or toffees. Yet you have not shared this your decision even with your wife, but still your face starts smiling. Why? Because each action of mind, speech and body which is going to offer happiness to any living creature will make you happy first. So I realized the very simple truth that each action of my mind, speech and body, before affecting others, do affect me positively or negatively. On the contrary side, if somebody says that such a person was talking something bad about you at your back, and my mind starts revolting, okay, let me see, whenever I meet, I will teach such a lesson to him or her that he will not again take my name. But before teaching a lesson, I learn a lesson hard way, because each action of my mind, speech and body which are going to disturb or hurt others do disturb me first. At that time my selfie will not be good, my face will not be smiling. So having realized this simple truth of the universe, what should I do? I should try to open the happiness shop. Throughout the world we have seen bigger departmental stores, K Bazaar, Big Bazaar, Walmart and Kmart and what not. But have you seen a simple small happiness shop? And you will start wondering, what does this mean? From where I get the inventories? Who will give me the loan? Very simple. My mind, speech and body which nature has given me is the biggest asset, and to open the happiness shop, I don't need anything except my inner attitude, my inner resolution, my inner bhav, that whomsoever I meet from morning to evening, let me give some happiness, let me give some helping hand, let me oblige somebody. And should I go and try to find out who needs help? No. Keep your inner attitude and inner resolution, rest of the things will be done by nature. So if I have a shop of sweets, I'll never be in shortage of sweets. So if I can open the happiness shop, I'll be never in shortage of happiness. This is a very simple thing. And while traveling this path, I realized that world is me only. In one conference I was asked that, okay, philosophically we can say that we are all one, because by conscious or by nature of Atman we may be similar. But in interactive dealings, in Vyavhar, how can we one? Because your giving is my taking is your losing. And it sprang to my mind, because each action of my speech, my mind, speech and body before affecting you does affect me, so we are one at this time, or the world is me only. Another subtle, very important revelation, experience is world is my own echo. And initially I understood that, okay, if I go and speak at the deep well that you are a king, the echo will come, you are a king. If I say you are a thief, the echo will come, you are a thief. So I started thinking that, okay, I say, Dilip bhai, you are a good person, Dilip bhai may reciprocate, Dr. Sahab, you are also a nice person. Sometimes Dilip bhai may not reciprocate, and if he doesn't do that, I stop saying him he is a good person, because that's my human nature. But then I realized that even before I express or say, Dilip bhai, you are a good person, my face is smiling. Why? Because there is inner effect, or there is inner echo, or inner reflection. So I realized that leave aside reciprocation, for my own interest, let me do this. So God doesn't come to give me reward or penalty. It is the inner echo, inner effect or inner reflection of each action of my mind, speech and body, which gives me reward or penalty right here and now. So the present young generation may not believe in the past karmas and future karmas, but they can very well scientifically experience right here and now, and this simple truth will put us a long way. So having realized this, I change the computer software of my inner body, and I pray, decide and resolve in the morning that let my mind, speech and body not hurt any living being in the world to the slightest extent, and let my mind, speech and body offer happiness to one and all. But I ask myself, do I always have harmonious happenings or interconnected dealings? First point, none of us want to have clash, but in reality do we have? Do we have clashes, inner and outer clashes at home, at workplace, with our neighbors, in a society, wherever we go? And unfortunately the answer is yes. And my experience is inner or outer clashes not only spoils my mood, but it takes away my positive energy. So many times for hours together I don't like to work. I say, leave it, let my mood become all right, then I'll do it. Why the clashes occur? Because I feel I am right, everybody feels I am right. Correct. I have all the right to express my viewpoint lovingly, caringly, sharingly, but no sooner I become insistent or adamant, the clashes start. So if I decide to avoid the clashes, my inner light will show me the way out, how to pass through the situation without having clashes. And here I realize that as I feel I am right, everyone is right by his or her own viewpoint. And to understand and to consider others' viewpoint is humanity, otherwise I am not human. This is the practical way of Anekantvad which Mahavir wanted to teach us. So decide to resolve the situation amicably with equanimity. Moving ahead, today we don't have the problem of resources. Our grandson, instead of one pair, they get 3 pairs of Reebok shoes. They have more than required. But then what is the problem today is, in a home we are 4 people, at a workplace we may be few people, but we cannot get along well with the one another. That means the harmony is the issue. So what is the answer? Answer is the master key or master art of adjust everywhere. But how can I adjust? Because all the personalities are different. One person likes to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the other person says, no, allow me to sleep till 7. One person is talkative, likes to talk and be live. Other person is introverted like me, doesn't like to talk more. And so all different personalities are around us. So how can I adjust? I want to adjust. Go to a garden and learn from a garden. In a garden, there are all different varieties. Even if we have a small terrace garden, we bring all different varieties. One rose, one jasmine, one orchid, one red rose, one blueberry, one strawberry, one mango. And has any time rose told to the mango that why don't you have a beautiful flower like me? Have you heard mango telling to the rose that why don't you have a beautiful fruit like me? And can I go to the rose plant and tell why you have a thorn with you? Rose will smile at me and tell me, use my flower and keep away from my thorn. So if I use this understanding, the adjustment becomes natural, because around me there are different personalities. I should try to find out what are the positive abilities or virtues and keep away from the shortcomings. Each plant or tree has some fruit or flower. Each human being has some positive virtue. Somebody may be very helping, obliging, but may be outspoken. So keep away from his speech and use the best personality. A good manager at the workplace is one who knows the abilities and virtues and can make a good team of the people and never complain about the shortcomings. And if one can master this art of adjusting everywhere, not only one will be happy in this world, but will sail through to the liberation. Our own home. All of us aspire that our home should be a heaven on earth. But if I am asked a question, is my home a heaven or a testing laboratory for me? If I have to answer truthfully, it is a testing place, sometimes Kurukshetra for me, where I have to struggle with all different personalities. So it is said that win your own home, world need not be conquered. Winning is not by power, but winning the heart of each other by the true love. Husband and wife, the two come together, they decide to live for each other, but the two I do remain separate. And if one eye is loving, caring, sharing and friendly with the other eye, it is a win-win situation. But if one eye tries to win over the other, the show starts. So live as best friends, not using the word I and you, mine and yours, but using always the word we and ours. And for the spiritual practitioners, one small tip, that husband-wife has the most close interwoven karmic bonds. If you want to reduce those bonds and get free, keep awareness on your opinions, notes that he or she has done something in the past like this, and do resort to inner alochana, pratikraman and pratyakhyan. If I am husband, I have to do in my spare time that I bow to the pure self within my wife, which is free of mind, speech, body, her name and name belonging attachments and all karmic bonds. I ask for pardon wherever I have hurt her and decide not to do it again. Give me enough energy to become free of opinions, attachments and aversions. Moving ahead, interconnected living or relations, Mahavir gave another golden sentence to us, parasparanu graho jivanam. The living beings live and grow by helping or obliging each other. The Harvard study of 75 years, which is supposed to be a longest research study, had proved that those who had a warm and good interpersonal relations had a better health and a longer life. Now, talking about one thing, love. We all talk about love, but have we experienced the love in true sense? Because love is one which doesn't have waxing and waning pattern, which is free of expectations and conditions. If I apply this simple test, even the husband-wife love most of the times is based on expectations or conditions, and it increases and decreases. So it's a merchant-consumer relationship. So now next question. I want to love everybody, I try to love the people, but they don't love me, they don't reciprocate, so why should I care for them? And my human tendency, I shut down the doors of my heart. The enlightened ones move one step ahead. Whether people love me or not, if I am loving them, my heart will always remain full. I will never feel lonely. So for my own sake, I will love unconditionally all living beings in the world. So how can I remain positive? And really, since last more than 1 year, this corona pandemic has put us entire world to the test, and I am also seeing whether I can remain steady, stable, positive in the ongoing situation. So let's start from a scientist. Albert Einstein was a scientist, but the scientists are always very open and the seekers of truth. So he said that there lies opportunity in every difficulty. You and me may not love or like difficulty, but he says there is always opportunity in difficulty. He said, I am thankful to all those who said me no to do my work. Because of them, I did it myself. So I developed, I moved ahead, and I progressed. What do? I cancel the name of the list from the list, my list. That person who says me no, I'll not call him again. No. Change your vision, nazariya badlo, pura nazara or the world will get changed. The Akram Vignani, holistic scientist Dada Bhagwan, whom I was fortunate to meet, and whatever I am today, it is due to his blessings and his vision he gave me, which I am using. But that's a science, not a personal thing. He said favorable is food, unfavorable is vitamin. So do you like vitamins or no? Yes, I am in search of a vitamin capsule. If by taking one capsule my day gets over, I'll be more than happy. I am obliged by a person who criticizes me or who insults me. Because of such persons, I am compelled or I have opportunity to introspect and improve. By his time and his energy, he washes my egoism and keeps it to the normal level. Otherwise it will be hyperinflated and will burst someday. And certainly he gives his or her energy to me and makes me relieved from one karmic bond. Once at his age of 76 years, he had a fracture neck femur, and as a doctor was witness to that event. Suppose we have a fracture and we have to lie down for 2.5 months in a bed, what will be our situation and face like? Every friend comes and every time we repeat that, oh, my foot slipped and I'll have to be in bed for 2.5 months, and every time my miseries or agonies will increase. His face was always smiling. Not for a moment the smile had disappeared from his face, and his answer was, fracture had occurred at that moment. From the next moment it has started uniting. So should I rejoice the process of uniting or healing, or should I cry over that moment which has gone away? Medically also it is true that from next moment the nature starts healing process. And Lord Mahavir also taught us the same thing, that please look at what is left with you, don't look at what is lost. And a simple example, Lord Mahavir was teaching his monks that suppose if you go for asking for mockery and the people don't give you mockery, how would you feel inside? So the disciples replied, okay, we'll still be happy that they have not given mockery, but at least they have not insulted us. Suppose if you are insulted, then okay, still we will feel stable and happy that they have insulted, but at least they have not physically beaten us. Suppose you are physically beaten, then still we will feel satisfied or happy that at least our limbs are not fractured. Suppose one of the limb or leg is fractured, then okay, we'll feel that the rest three are intact, and if more injury, then okay, we'll go that I am immortal pure self. So in any given situation, they used to use the perception or the vision which will keep us positive. So really speaking, positive is not imaginary, hypothetical or illusionary situation of mind, but once I know the rules of my own life, living nature and natural regulatory system, my vision becomes correct. It can see the things as it is, and that will keep me positive. This is a real life situation where one of the person, is a photograph of a father and son. The father had a grade 4 cancer. He was admitted in the Tata Memorial Hospital for undergoing surgery, and this is the photograph few moments before the surgery. You can look at the smile of that person, how he can remain positive even while he was living He was passing through near death situation. So again the corona pandemic is asking us, develop some vision by which you can pass through all these anxieties, worries and sometimes critical illnesses, and this correct vision of the Vitarag Vignan can keep me positive. Another important tool, forgiveness. The whole world talks about forgive your own self and forgive others. I ask them, sir and madam, I want to do that, show me the way how I can do it and I can achieve the desired result. First and foremost, why should I forgive? How should I forgive? Because if I have hurt somebody, if I have done some misbehavior with someone, it will start biting me, it will disturb my harmony, there will be mental baggage or burden on me. So I want to relieve myself from that baggage or burden. So I should know the process of getting rid of my misdeeds or misbehavior or my mistakes. And Vitarags have given a very wonderful, powerful, fundamental way, Alochana, Pratikraman and Pratyakhyan. In English we can say confession, apology and resolution. So let me share one example. Suppose I have hurt Nilesh Bhai. Knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally, he is hurt. So I will start feeling unhappy. So what should I do? In very presence of whomsoever I am believing, Lord Mahavir, Lord Simandar Swami, Lord Krishna or Lord Ram, I bow to pure self within Nilesh Bhai, which is free of mind, speech, body, name and name belonging attachments and karmic bonds. I confess my that I have hurt you with my speech or my action. I beg pardon for that. I decide or resolve not to do it again. Please give me energy so that I will not repeat this mistake again. And this will relieve me of my burden. I will get free of my mistakes. So this is the way I can forgive myself. Otherwise, if I say I have done wrong, okay, I forgive myself, believe me, it will not work. You have to do the proper way, because I have changed my opinion, I have decided not to do it again. But how can I forgive if Nilesh Bhai has something done wrong to me? No sooner no matter how hard I try, my mind or intellect will not allow me to forget or forgive Nilesh Bhai. So what should I do? Here, if I understand the natural laws and if I use the natural laws, I will be able to forgive others. It will not be required. How? First and foremost, is Nilesh Bhai independent to hitch, hurt or even help me independently? If anyone can hitch or help any other person independently, the whole natural law or the fundamental of the world will get fractured. It's because of my own accounts and accountability, my own atoms and molecules are such that nature is sending instrument to me. A mailman or a delivery man or a postman delivers the posts to me. Two may be pleasurable, two may be painful, where the address is mine. So only according to my karmic accounts, the natural instrument will come to me. When the Mahavir had the irons put into his ears, he did not see the other person as fault. He saw that it is the result of my own mistake. So one who suffered is at fault for my own painful or pleasurable experiences. The instrument or the mailman is not at the fault. It is my own account and accountability. If I realize this, the forgiving others will be a result. Otherwise it will be ego based activity. Ultimately I must know who am I. These two are wonderful words, but the most powerful words in the whole world or universe, I and my. If asked, I say I am Shailesh, I say I am Dr. Shailesh, I am a senior eye surgeon, I am father of somebody, I am son of somebody and what not. But have I learned to separate I and my? Once I was asked, who are you, sir? I said I am Shailesh. Then I was asked, what is your name? Then I say my name is Shailesh. So then I was asked whether both are same or different, and I said, oh, both are same. No, when I say it is my spectacle, the object to which I am saying is my, and the one who is saying as my has to be different. They cannot be one. So I am saying my body. I am saying my mind, I am saying my speech. I never say I am mind, I am speech, I am body. I say my wife. I never say I am wife. I say my bungalow, my wife, my relations, my karmas, my feelings. Have anyone ever said I am karmas? No. My karmas, my feelings. So put aside everything which we are labeling as my or mine. What remains is I. So I with my is ignorance. Separating I from my or mine is beginning of enlightenment. Don't worry for my, there is no worry in I. So one who can learn how to separate my and I with the guidance of enlightened ones will start traveling on the path of enlightenment. Second thing, if we see everything which is we say is my or mine has beginning as well as an end. My body, from conception to death, it has a beginning time, end time. My mind, thoughts comes, goes away. Relations, wife and husband starts, ends. So everything under my or mine has beginning and end. That means they are having finite duration or they are temporary and they are ever changing. So one who knows that these are temporary and ever changing has to be constant and eternal or permanent. So the enlightened ones, Jnanis and Arihants, say that the portion under my is relative, changing and temporary. The I is permanent. Try to know what is the nature of I. The third parameter, sometimes I say I enjoyed, I am bored. We say I had a nice sleep. So who slept and who knew that the sleep was nice? So know the knower. Turn your vision towards the knower and seer inside you, and it is said that know the knower and you will know everything worthwhile. So the fourth parameter, can the doer and knower be the same or they have to be different? They have to be different, but unknowingly we say I did it and I knew it. So the enlightened ones say that the doer is Prakriti. The Krishna in Gita says that everything is happening by three qualities of the Prakriti, but by ignorance, the ignorant person feels that I am doing it. So the knower and doer is Prakriti, the knower is the pure self, has to be different. So here the wrong belief or mithyatva is not knowing who am I, what are my natural or innate qualities and who is doer. Whereas the samyak drashti or right vision is knowing who am I, what are my properties, what is my function and who is the doer. So here the Lord Mahavir said, it was the Diksha mantra of Lord Mahavir in 4 very powerful lines. Ego me shasho appa gnana dansanam sanju. Only my pure soul self is eternal. It can be recognized by its knowing and seeing attributes or qualities. It has only the 2 important qualities of knowing power and seeing power. Shesha me bahira bhava. Rest, everything is external or exterior to me. How can I recognize them? Sauve sanjoga lakhana. All these are having the quality of assimilation and dissimilation. They are circumstantial. Sanjoga mula jivena patta dukham parampara. Because we believed them to be my or mine, the series of suffering started. Tamma sanjog sambandham savam tivenam vasaryami. So my ignorance of believing these circumstances as my or mine, I surrender unto your lotus feet, and now I get the correct vision that by vyavhar nai this is my, but by nischay nai these are not mine and I am the pure soul self. Same thing the Rajachandra told us, that parthi khas ane swama vas. But what is par? What is the others? My mind, speech, body, my inner and outer happenings, my feelings, my karmas, everything which is changing is exterior to me, and only I as knower and seer is my own self. So if I can, my conscious, I am living at the moment with my eye into this mind, body, speech, name and name belonging attachments. If I can move from there to my pure self, my puzzles will get solved. So Dada Bhagwan said the world is the puzzle itself, and there are 2 viewpoints to solve this puzzle, one relative, the other real. Sharing a little bit of my own journey about after the acquiring this vision of self-realization in 1977, 5 fundamental sentences were given to me: relative viewpoint, real viewpoint. So I have studied, I have practiced, I am practicing, I am doing all household activities. Right now I am talking to you, but this is by relative viewpoint. Shailesh, inside I know that by relative viewpoint Shailesh is talking to you, it is Shailesh's speech, it is Shailesh's mind. By real viewpoint I am pure soul self. With the same vision I try to see relative and real in my patients, that relatively he is my patient, really he is pure soul self, relatively all of you are the aspirant souls, and really you are all pure soul selves. The third is the doer is scientific circumstantial evidences. Now having the vision of I am pure soul self, my vyavhar remains. So how do I pass through that? Dispose all the files with Srunanubandh or interconnected accounts and accountability amicably with equanimity. And fifth is the Shuddhatmas or pure self account with the awareness of the pure soul self. So this has given me the awareness to try to remain as the pure soul, and using these 5 sentences to pass through all these vyavhars, always warning me of various mistakes and trying to purify or rectify from within. So for the ones who want to have little more insight about the science of Prakriti and self, there has been a puzzle that if the pure soul is doer, if the pure soul is sinful, if the pure soul is doing punya, how can it get rid of it? No. By science, the pure soul is one element with its own dravya, means existential substance, with its own properties and with its own function. On the other side, matter is also another element with rupa, rasa, sparsha, gandh, means form, shape, smell and taste. As the two come nearer to each other, they do not lose their properties, they do not become compound, but they become a mixture. In a mixture, the third extra spatial properties do crop up, but each individual element will retain their own properties. So here the matter and pure consciousness have come together as the third extra spatial properties. The Prakriti has come up as I am name bearer, I am doer with anger, greed, pride, deceit, but these are neither the innate properties of pure self, neither the innate properties of matter. So the enlightened ones or the holistic scientists or the Arihants know this, and they give us the vision and a dividing line by which we can get best of both, or we can separate. And the last point, which will help all of us to have the mental health, to have our free will efforts, to have the Purusharth understand better way, and that is the life has 2 parts. When the things happen according to my wish or according to my expectation, suppose I am a surgeon, if the surgery goes well, I receive compliment and say, oh, I did nice surgery. But if there is some complication, then I say, oh, I did my best. Your body immunity was not good. Something was not good on your part. So then I disown the responsibility. Sometimes I say my Graha Dasha was not good, so things didn't happen. So I speak 2 languages. No, that's not correct. I should say only one. So how the things happen? And when we examine very closely, we can see that for each happening, so many circumstantial evidences are required from gross to subtle. And is there anyone in the world who can control all these circumstantial evidences? Even Krishna could not control, otherwise there would not have been Yadvasthali. Even Mahavir could not control, otherwise his own son-in-law may not be walking on a different path. So in the part of happenings, it is this accumulation and dispersion of so many circumstantial evidences coming together scientifically, and they are not under my total independent control. So I am doer, but I am instrumental doer, not the independent doer. हूँ आई एम नैमित्तिक करता हूँ, मैं स्वतंत्र करता नहीं हूँ. Leave aside, let's move inside. Am I independent about my mind? If it would have been so, the people would not have to struggle to stop the mind, and people would have been successful to not to allow the bad thoughts. Doesn't happen so. Am I independent about my speech? Sometimes I have to regret that I should not have spoken like this. So including my mind, speech and body, including inner and outer circumstantial evidences, I am not completely independent. So what I am supposed to do? I should do my best according to best of my abilities, care and caution, leave rest to nature, and after it happens, I should realize that whatever has happened is just and correct because it is in the grand scheme of Mother Nature. But then I ask the next question to Mahavir, that if these things are not in my hand, I am not responsible also. Mahavir says, wait, you are responsible, but you don't know where is your free will. So I most humbly want to know from enlightened ones, where is my free will? And they say life has the another part. The inner happenings, inner bhava bhav is the process where if you are awake, you can change them because it is not dependent on circumstances, it depends on your understanding, and that's where your free will lies. So long as I am name bearer and I am Shailesh and I have the belief that I am doer, I can change my inner bhava bhav. Let me give you one example. Suppose night at 11 I have seen the last TV serial and I have gone to bed and the doorbell rings. Oh, one of the friend has come from a distance. Oh, come. And he says that I was supposed to come earlier, but my car was broken down and it took a long time. So it doesn't matter. And then I realize that, oh, they are hungry. So I tell my wife to prepare something, and at night 12 we go to bed again. So outside I say come, and I show feelings of welcome, but inside the bhav may be, oh, they should not have come at this awkward hour, or they should have finished their meals outside. So this inner bhav, if I don't change, it will put a wrong seed ahead. So Mahavir wants us to keep awareness that whatever is happening inside, be aware of that and change that. So if I know this inner bhava bhav, inner part of projection or bhav satta, then I can effortlessly and easily change my life. Because and the another part joint, that is why they said ke bhave bhavana bhaviye bhave dije dan bhave jinvar bhajiye bhave lahiye keval gnan. Another important aspect, so many times the preachers, teachers, religious leaders and torch bearers advise us so many things that please don't be angry, don't do this thing. I also decide, okay, I will not be angry to anybody, I will keep calm. But no, on the second or third day, no matter how hard I try, I fail and the anger comes. So this is my frustration, that I don't want to do this, but it happens. So what is the science there? And the science is, can I change the fruit or I have to change the seed? Can I change the effect or I have to change the cause? Obviously the answer is, I cannot change the fruit or effect, I have to change the seed or the cause. My present personality is the effect or fruit or result of my past bhavs. So I may or may not be able to change that, but if I can change my present bhavs, my future personality, my future bhav, everything will change. So this science, when Duryodhan was advised by Krishna, Duryodhan said him, he was a smart guy. Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, janami adharmam nachame nivrutti. I know what I should be doing, but I can't do that. I know what I should not be doing, but I can't live that. Most of the times our situation is like that. So here is the answer, that Prakriti may or may not be changed immediately, but change your bhav inside. Do alochana pratikraman pratyakhyan, and that's the purusharth one can do. And having known that, how best I should use my relative free will, what two bhavs I should keep. One, we already saw that let my mind, speech and body not hurt any living being, or let my mind, speech and body help or oblige or offer happiness to one and all. The second, because I want eternal happiness, because I want my inner bliss, I should try to know what is eternal inside me. So my second bhav is, I want to know who I am, I want to experience that. Should I Google it? Should I go through the scriptures? Yes, Google and scriptures can provide me the information, but it cannot provide me the experience. So for realizing means for experiencing it, I should have the bhav and aspiration that if I meet some living enlightened person with his guidance, I can travel into that path. So in these two bhavs, there is a sense of all scriptures, and as I said, Alochana, Pratikraman, Pratyakhyan will take you a long way. So this is a gross roadmap. In a available time, I have put across you, I have tried to share, and there may be many questions. This virtual platform may not allow us to interact, otherwise we love to have the question answers, and still I will invite all of you, I will request, this is a friendly humble request, that if you feel you have questions and if you wish to interact, you can reach me through email or through phone numbers, and even at the middle of night I will be more than happy to join with you for my own interest. Let me share the last secret with you. Whatever I have done or I have been doing, it's not for your sake, for my own sake I have been doing, because I don't know how much you will enjoy or you will be benefited, but I definitely enjoy. It opens out my inner doors more, it helps my journey and my progress. So this is with this last secret, I thank you all. My special thanks to Shri Dilip Bhai Shah from Philadelphia, whom I met once last year at Ahmedabad, and upon my request he allowed me this opportunity to connect with you all. My thanks to all Jaina office bearers and the entire team, and my thanks to all of you, because that gave me opportunity to connect with you. You may feel that this is indirect, I am experiencing this as a direct. Thank you.